r/AskReddit. What is, in your opinion, the biggest flaw of the human body? Our lumbar and ass aren't really that great at holding us up, and this is why everyone has back problems regardless of whether they spend their lives working out, sitting in a chair, or in between. Evolutionarily, we should have spent more time in trees waiting for our muscles and such to develop more to support the greater half of our bodies being held upright without destroying the system that's meant to do exactly that. Fear triggers/phobias. I haven't ever actually hurt myself in the throat, but because of my imagination and a fear of cutting, I have a literally crippling fear of injuring my throat/Adam's apple. I'm not talking about a mild "I just got the willies" kind of fear response. I mean a whole body, curling up into a fetal position, grabbing my throat with both hands to protect it. I physically cannot restrain myself because of fear, kind of response. Blood sugar management. If you kill of the insulin-producing cells in your body, it loses its ability to control not only high blood glucose but low as well. This makes managing type 1 diabetes extremely difficult, as you can easily go into hypoglycemia and die not only from an overdose of insulin, but from physical activity or just skipping a meal. The amount of time it takes for us to grow and mature to a level where we are able to contribute and not be 100% dependent on our parents/family unit. Or the fact we have a useless organ that randomly ruptures and will kill you if you don't seek treatment for it. The human body is a Ford Pinto. Still amazing what it can do. A Pinto is still a car, which is an incredible machine in the grand history of human invention, but it's really poorly designed, flawed, and waiting to destroy itself the first chance it gets. I think the biggest flaw is that your brain can't find a detour around an injured spot on the spinal cord to send movement and sensation signals down the cord, and because of this you become paralyzed, but it can find a detour to send pain signals back to the brain from the paralyzed limbs. This is a terrible flaw. Source: I am Sci. Teeth. Seems like most adult people have a problem of some kind in that area. Dunno if it's in part due to our modern diet, but it's so prevalent. Oh, and lower back. It has something to do with the transition of the genus Homo from walking on all four limbs to only standing upright. Or so I've read. IDK if it's the biggest flaw trademark, but for me it's anxiety disorders. Fight or flight response triggering for no reason can really frick you up. Also how health-related anxiety can imitate symptoms from other diseases, or how they're experienced, can only contribute to that negative cycle. It's like you're gaslighting yourself. It's not a flaw, it's just evolution, but it sucks that once you are past peak procreation age, evolution has no more use for you. So things start to wear out. As for design flaws, teeth. But then again, they're just good enough to get the job done and no more. The pain and complications associated with giving birth. Giraffes can birth a whole tiny giraffe hooves and all and go about their day, yet women are still enduring massive amounts of pain, and/or death, during childbirth. It seems evolutionarily unproductive. Overstoring fat. I mean, I get hanging onto 20 pounds of the stuff just in case you need to tap into that energy, but at 50, 100, 300 pounds our bodies are still like, well, better still stock up. You never know if we'll find any food this upcoming year. Periods. Most other animals who have a menstruation cycle, or something like it, reabsorb the uterine lining rather than shedding it out and causing women to suffer from painful bleeding out of their vaginas for 5 to 6 days once a month. Edit: I think that if we have to shed it, it should be a voluntary sphincter, like controlling when you pee. So women don't have to spend so much money on pads and tampons, don't have to worry about bleeding through, can stress-free wear a bikini, etc. The recurrent laryngeal nerve is so dumb, it controls your voice, and one of them loops under your aorta and travels back up to the larynx. HTTPS, upload wikimedia.org/wikipedia/commons/thumbs/6/64 recurrent_laryngeal_nerve svg/512px recurrent_laryngeal_nerve svg png. Does the same thing in giraffes as well. Like, look at it, there's other nerves that travel straight there. The imperfect mechanics of the bipedal adapted skeleton. It's obvious that the original configuration of our ancestors was a quadruped, and the modern-day human skeleton has not fully adapted to walking on two legs. We haven't been doing it long enough for evolution to fully iron out the best structure and spinal shape. There are many who do well with what they have, but our bones and joints are still on the mutation path to an optimal design for our habits and locomotive preferences. Humans are the only mammals where the birth canal is too small to properly give birth to offspring. Childbirth isn't supposed to be painful, difficult, or time-consuming. However, due to humanity's evolution to bipedalism, the pelvis shrunk and reshaped itself for a standing position. This change allowed humanity to become more mobile and flexible, but at a serious cost. The brain. If you don't treat it right, it can frick you up. Having you believing you need something when you know it's bad for you. Make you think horrible things and sometimes do horrible things. If you don't feed it positive information, you can grow up believing in evil, or ignorant things. And it controls everything. Men's pooping systems. You have a serious problem down there. You can't deny it with all that time you spend on the can. Now women, we just sh*t and get off the pot. Guys spend 20 minutes working it out of a maze with the help of last month's page 3 girl. That chick has seen some things. Appendix. The fricker does nothing but try to kill you, and it's random when it makes that decision. It was September 1997 for me. One day I'm relaxing watching motorsport. The next day I'm in intensive care with tubes in places they should never go. Fuck you appendix, frick you and the bile bus you rode on. The fact that two of our arguably most important sensory centers, the eyes and the ears, are subject to damage and degeneration without the ability to self-repair/regenerate. Other species, such as spiders, are able to regenerate vision problems caused by sun damage, yet humans have not yet evolved this ability. My personal greatest flaw in the human body has to be the immune system. Sure, I bet a lot of you have perfectly functional immune systems, but mine has decided my gastrointestinal tract is the enemy and must be eliminated at all costs. So basically whatever programming error led to my Crohn's disease, that's the biggest flaw. Our teeth not growing back. Seriously, why? Surely in a time when we'd fight often, before the concept of medical care even existed, it would have been an evolutionary advantage? I guess by the time we'd started losing teeth, we'd already reproduced. The fact that we get addicted to things that we already have receptors for but have no mechanisms for not getting addicted. Not only that, but our natural feel-good chemicals are a finite resource, and if we use them up we don't want to live anymore. WTF. Teeth cannot repair themselves, I think. If a bone can heal back together, why the hell can't a tooth fill in a micro hole? In a natural state, teeth are pretty damn important. Edit, just want to say thanks to all for the upvotes. It does not go unappreciated. May we all have perfect teeth forever. Unreasonably large breasts, bleeding for a straight week every month, and giving birth to offspring that are big enough to cause catastrophic damage would definitely top my personal list. Actually, the human reproductive system is retarded in general, male and female. The ability for chemicals to randomly change in our brains which lead to mental illness such as depression, which makes us hate ourselves so much we kill ourselves. It's amazing to think that for an species so good at adapting for survival, that a chemical change can make us want to kill ourselves, and it can be genetically linked. Vestibular system. Nailed me recently. There are little crystals on hairs in your inner ear. Normally they get absorbed, but if one breaks off you get vertigo. I couldn't walk. Couldn't straight for 48 hours. Took a month to get better. All due to a couple little crystals the size of table salt. The female reproductive system. The urethra is too close to the anus/vaginal opening. This can cause lots of UTIs if we aren't careful. Our hips are nearly too narrow to birth our babies. We can literally split our vagina into our anus while giving birth. Also the monthly bleeding thing, I'm freaking over it and I've still got a good 20 to 30 years of it left. It's a damned inconvenience on its best days and a nightmare of literal blood and pain on its worst days. 1. Fragility of some sensory organs. Once your eyes go you can't truly get your full sight back. Ditto with your inner ears. 2. The fact that the human body hoards pretty much everything that it can use. 3. How fragile the brain is. It's basically a computer made of fat that is so complex pretty much everyone has a problem somewhere in it. Every single waste product has a really well-designed system to deal with it. We have a separate sphincter to separate gas from poop. We expel liquid differently than solids for simple convenience. Why the heck do periods have to dribble and bubble, or sneeze explode out whenever? Compensation, an extreme example. Problem in one part of spine, muscles on the other side start to compensate. Pelvis becomes misaligned because back is not functioning symmetrically. Now, spinal problem has made the entire back spasm to support, walking hurts, probably more prone to headaches now, etc. I'd like to think the body thinks it's doing a controlled burn whenever it brings out a fever to fight infections, but it's really just lighting that sh*t on fire, isn't it? I could just have a really bad understanding of how fevers work, but I imagine it a lot like global warming. Our infants have large heads and have to be born through a small hole in the pelvis bone, which is a major structural support and necessary for bipedalism. This flaw has killed many mothers and babies and is the cause of painful childbirth. Birth is not painful in many other species. Thanks for watching this auto-generated video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I upload videos like this one daily. I put a lot of time into developing this video generator, but if there have been errors, please tell me in the comments below. Also leave me a link to another thread you would like to see a video about. Have a great day, Alex.